I'll never forget the moment my world shifted. It was a quiet evening, the kind where the air feels heavy with unspoken words, and my wife looked at me with a cool, detached stare. "Making you happy isn't my job," she said, her voice flat, like she was stating some obvious fact I'd been too foolish to grasp. Those words hit me like a punch to the chest, splintering everything I thought I knew about us. For years, I'd built my life around her, around us, believing that love meant sacrifice, that my role was to keep her steady, to make her smile. But in that moment, I saw the truth. She'd never seen my happiness as something worth caring about. I'd given so much. I'd turned down job offers that would have taken me across the country because she didn't want to leave her friends. I'd spent late nights fixing up the house she wanted, even when my hands were blistered and my back ached, because I thought it made her feel secure. I'd listened to her vent about her day, her dreams, her frustrations, nodding along even when exhaustion weighed me down. All those years, I thought I was building something, a partnership, a bond. But her words made it clear. She didn't see it that way. To her, my efforts were just background noise, expected but not appreciated. After she said that, something in me broke, but not in the way I expected. Instead of crumbling, I felt a strange clarity settle in. I was done bending over backwards, done chasing a version of her that only existed in my head. So I stopped. I stopped asking how her day was when she came home late. I stopped planning little surprises, like cooking her favorite meal or leaving notes on the counter. I started living for myself instead. I'd come home from work, crack open a beer, and sit on the porch with a book, letting the quiet sink in. I signed up for a gym membership, something I'd always put off because it didn't fit into our schedule. For the first time in years, I felt like I was breathing my own air. She noticed, of course. At first, she didn't say anything, just watched me with this puzzled look, like I was a puzzle she couldn't quite solve. Then came the questions. "Why are you so quiet lately?" She'd ask, her tone sharp with irritation. "What's going on with you?" I'd shrug and say, "Nothing," because what could I say? That I'd finally heard her loud and clear? That I was done playing the fool? She started hovering more, checking my phone when she thought I wasn't looking, asking where I'd been when I came home a little later than usual. It was almost funny, her sudden interest in me, now that I wasn't chasing her anymore. But then I started seeing things I couldn't unsee. A text that popped up on her phone when she left it on the counter. Some guy's name I didn't recognize, with a message that was too familiar, too casual. She'd snatched the phone away, muttering something about a coworker, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. She started staying out later, claiming girls' nights. That didn't match the stories her friends told when I ran into them at the store. Once, I found a receipt in her purse for a dinner for two at a place we'd never been together. Dated on a night she said she was working late. The pieces clicked into place, slow and ugly, and I realized she'd been stepping out on me. Maybe for months, maybe longer. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I started writing things down, not out of spite, but to make sense of it all. Every late night, every excuse, every time her story didn't add up. It wasn't about revenge. It was about protecting myself, building a map of the mess so I could find my way out. One night, over beers with an old friend, the truth cut even deeper. He hesitated, then admitted he'd seen her years ago, before we were married, cozying up to some guy at a bar, laughing like she didn't have a care in the world. "I didn't want to stir trouble," he said, looking guilty. "But she's always been good at playing people." That hit hard. I'd been blind, not just to the cheating, but to who she really was. I could have exploded, yelled, thrown things, demanded answers. But what would that have gotten me? More lies? More of her twisting things until I doubted myself? Instead, I chose silence. One weekend, while she was out with friends, I packed a duffel bag with clothes, my favorite books, and a couple photos of my dog from before we got together. I left the house we'd shared, the one I'd pour my soul into, and moved into a small apartment across town. No big scene, no note, just gone. The landlord handed me the keys, and I stood in that empty space, feeling lighter than I had in years. The weeks that followed were strange, but good. I started running again, feeling the pavement under my feet, the rhythm of my breath pulling me back to myself. I dug out my old guitar, the one I hadn't touched since she complained about the noise, and spent hours picking out chords until my fingers remember how to move. I cooked meals I liked, spicy stir-fries she'd never cared for, savoring the taste of freedom in every bite. I wasn't just surviving, I was waking up. Eventually, I met someone new. She was different, quiet, steady, with a laugh that didn't feel like it was hiding anything. We took it slow, no rush, no pressure. I didn't bring the old baggage with me this time. I'd learned something through all the wreckage. I didn't need someone else to make me whole. I could stand on my own, find my own peace. And that's what I did. Looking back, I see it clear as day. Happiness isn't something you beg for or borrow. It's something you build inside yourself. I'd spent too long giving away my self-respect, thinking that's what love looked like. But now, sitting on my porch with the sun dipping low, a cold drink in my hand, and the sound of my own laughter in the air, I know better. I'm strong enough to carry my own light, and that's more than enough.